Hi, we're trading the ES on a 2000 tick chart with the 21 EMA. So price started off with this overnight high, these overnight lows. I thought they were pretty easy to find today. And so I got in, started trading around 8 o'clock Central Standard Time right here. So we started off in this range and it had a bullish imbalance because it couldn't reach the lows. And eventually broke out, pulled back, and went higher. I didn't like this trade to go long because I don't like entering directly into the highs of the day. Um, if there was a deeper pullback, then I think it probably would have been good, or if this went higher and then pulled back. But either way, so we're looking for a trade. We finally correct to the EMA. We get a higher low, but at this point, I still only had my trend line like this. So I didn't really see going along there that good. I mean, it is bias is up, uptrend break, expecting a new high, and then we have a higher low. So it does look pretty good. I did skip it just because I was afraid that we might still fade. So I just wanted to see it go higher first, but really that doesn't look that bad. So then I drew the channel like this, and then here we finally get so we correct here again, and then we finally get a correction all the way down to the EMA and the trend line. So we get an entry right off the key entry point. It confirms the trend line. First, second, third touch, that confirms the trend line. There was a mini range. It broke out. Most breakouts fail. And it's such a tiny bar. It's only 2 points, but it looked like such a good trade. I took it. It closed out of the STT, the short-term trend line, I mean. And so, I thought that looked amazing. So I took that trade. Only got 2 points because it's so small. But either way, that's a really good looking trade. So then we overshoot. We're looking for uh, retracements back to the EMA, but, buying is very strong, so we can't get there. So eventually, when we have these two swings here, I decide to see if I can raise the range or raise the channel. So I raise it. Now, there is this second entry long right here, but I decided not to take it because okay, so it closed below the EMA. That's not the only reason. I don't necessarily think it's that bad just because of that reason, but because it closed below the EMA and the fact that we just had an overshoot kind of made me not want to buy it. Um, Now, I did think the trend was like this, but just in case it was wrong, you know, I didn't want to take an entry below the EMA right after an overshoot, you know. So, anyway, then we push higher and then we hold on to the EMA. If you draw the short-term trend line, this entry closes out of it. So, I decided that, as long as I have enough room to these highs, I'll take the trade. I ended up getting out right at the very top of the day. 15 ticks, 3.75 points. I thought that it was really good. So I was considering waiting on the failed second entry, but I did think it's very bullish. We've been trending all day. Even this range down here had a bullish imbalance. It's very up, so I thought a higher low was good enough for a one-to-one scalp. So three and three quarters points right there. And then we did get a failed second entry right after, and I was considering adding on, but to add on, I would have had to raise my target a little bit, and I was not willing to raise my target too much past the highs. And as you can see, it didn't get much farther past the high of the day. So I think I did the right thing staying out of that, even though it would have won. So here is where I took my first loss, or well, the only loss of the day actually. So I didn't draw this downtrend in time. So we had uptrend break, expecting a new high. I had this range drawn, these lows, highs, range. I wanted to buy here, and I didn't consider two things. I didn't draw this short-term trend line, which was completely blocking the entry, completely invalidating it, and also I didn't draw this downtrend, which also would have invalidated the entry. And I should have seen it. Clearly there's something working down. It just totally slipped by me. Um, Luckily, so I only lost 2.5 points on that trade, so I'm still up from these two. I was up like what 3.5 points or like three and a quarter at that point, even after taking this loss. So, I thought that it was it wasn't a big deal. It didn't affect me throughout the day that much. But um, It's not a big deal. So anyway, this downtrend gets a break, and then here is this next trade. So I did use a limit order. This entire move up here happened before I got filled. Now, here's what I was thinking here. So the uptrend is still expecting a new high, because uptrend break, expecting a new high. Now, you have this short-term uptrend, break, first attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. So I'm entering on the second attempt to make a new high for this uptrend, and I'm also entering on this downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower, failure. So I'm entering on a failure and the second attempt at a new high at the exact same time. So that's why I really like this trade. So I got in with a limit order like 2 or 3 ticks early. Um, I decided to enter early just because I didn't want to risk a slightly early bounce off this trend line. If it bounced a couple ticks early, so I got in early. And either way, I still got 4 points on that trade. So So I thought it was pretty good. Once again, just uptrend break, first attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. At the same time, it was downtrend break, first attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, failure. So it was the second attempt on, both ways, also, fading this range at the lows of the range. So I thought that this was a excellent trade. Um, so either way, even with the loss, I'm still up several points, like 7 points or 8 points. Um, I think like 7 and a quarter. Yeah, 7 and a quarter points. Yeah, 7 and a quarter points. So anyway, I didn't find anything else after that, but I'll still go over it. We reach the highs. We bounce. We have a lower high. Well, it's a matching high, but that's basically a lower high. Um, Notice how the body closed lower than that body. So that's what a lot of times I think of lower highs like that if they are matching wicks. But there's no entry, no good signal bar. We go into this downtrend. We have an overshoot. Overshoot leads to a break. If this was a little better signal bar, because I was looking to enter here, I was thinking about entering if it had a good signal bar, but when it closed more in the middle, I decided to not risk it. So then prices went into this uptrend. We had a break, 2 legs to a new high. We came off the highs, 2 legs down. EMA, hell, it did close below, but the EMA did, ultimately hold prices and it went back up, tested the highs again. And at this point, it's just chopping between the highs and the EMA. So we finally break out. We go into this very sideways range. Um, then we get a failed breakout of the highs. It fails. We get a lower high. Then we get a failed second entry. That doesn't even look too bad to enter on. I mean, I don't like entering on the very low of a move a lot of the time. Uh, I mean, it's not. I say that, but I do still take trades, at the highs or lows. Kind of like here, I was entering at the high of this right here. Although there was a pullback from when I entered because this had already gone up and then I got filled on this pullback right here. But it's congestive, doesn't look that good. There wasn't really a breakout pullback of this suggestion yet, so I think it's good to stay out of that. Um, so yeah, that's it for the day. Up around 7 points, even with a 2.5 point loss. So that's just going for one to one. Like I'm telling y'all, like go for one. If you trade price action, you should consider going for 1 to 1. Now I do think that there are good trades that won't make 1 to 1, but I just filter them all out. Um, because one, if you learn to filter out a lot of the trades that won't make 1 to 1 anyway, you'll be taking a lot less trades, which means you'll have a lot less pressure to jump into the market all the time. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of just easier to just like relax while you're trading, not constantly feeling like you have to enter on every swing, just waiting on perfect trades that you think will have perfect risk to reward. And you know that really changed trading for me, was going for 1 to 1 and just like trying to stay out of the market as much as I can, you know, because that was the main problem, was over trading, taking too many trades, trying to find a trade on every swing. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Um, all right. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope y'all learned something, and I'll see y'all in the next video.